Proverbs 14, verse 21 on. 22 on. Okay, so don't be evil. Verse 22. 23, work with, do actual labor and not only talk. So 24 kind of promises riches to the wise. Or not promises, but says that wisdom will give you riches, similar to when wisdom call out in the street, like in chapter 1, beginning of Proverbs, like in chapter 1 or ish, then it promises, wisdom said that if you heed my word, it's more desirable than gold and silver, but it will give you riches. Okay, don't be lying in verse 25, and be a truthful witness. 26, when you respect the Lord, when you fear the Lord, you have strong confidence. And that is so true. Like, I never thought about it, but when you respect God for who he is and his word, you have confidence in his word and in his promises, and that reassures you. And I was watching Nikki Haley's essay comment yesterday, or speech yesterday, and she talked about this exact same thing. Like, she not talk about it, but in the end of her speech, she quoted Joshua, and then the verse is, be strong and courageous, do not fear. And then after that, I went and I opened up my children's Bible lesson so that we can do it this morning, and it's the same verse. So God is just telling us, and in the verse, the whole verse, the first line is, have I not commanded you? God commands us to be strong and courageous, to do not fear, because he is with us and he will lead us. And so, this is so crazy that it's all tying up, and it's all coming at the same time. I think God is trying to make a statement that no matter our situation, no matter what is going on around us, no matter what is in our life, we can have confidence when we fear him, when we respect him, and we respect his word, and that God will do what he says he will do and will lead us through it all. And so verse 26, wow, that screamed out at me. And his children will have refuge. And that in itself is what do we have confidence in? We have confidence in that he will protect us, that he will be our refuge, that we can rely on him, and we can rest, even as if we have confidence in a house during a storm. It will shelter us. He will be our shelter. He will protect us from all the wind and all the craziness that is out there. And may he protect us, because like Nikki Haley, I do not endorse Donald Trump, and I don't want him to be our next president, because he's just he causes division, and so I don't like that. However, since he is running against the current president Biden, between President Biden and President Trump, I have to choose the lesser of the evils, the lesser of the two evils. And I think President Biden, like, he is someone that blatantly goes against what the Bible teaches. And like, he's calling for Roe versus Wade to be reestablished, even though he's a Catholic. He doesn't obey the word of God. At least Donald Trump, ex-president Trump, he stands for some biblical principles, although his character is very flawed. But we can see in history, in the Bible, that God used people like David. God used people like King Saul. And King Saul is mentally disturbed. Like, when he turned away from God, he like has an evil spirit, and that tormented him. So he can use very flawed characters, and I think Donald Trump is a very flawed character, but but at least he stands for certain principles, and he doesn't go against it. He doesn't say that he's one thing and then do something else. His character is pretty consistently flawed to me. So between the lesser of the two evils, if it come down to him and President Biden, then I will choose him, even though I don't want to. I thought that when I voted for Nikki Haley, my husband was like, "You're pretty much throwing your ballot away." But I'm like, if everyone think that way, no one is going to vote for someone that they believe in, and they're just gonna vote for the popular or whoever like have the most impressions on them. We need to vote for who we think it is suitable to be in the president office. And I hope that Nikki Haley will run again and will like make her voice be heard more than during this election. I only found out about her because I saw the ballot and I went and researched the candidates. If I didn't research the candidate, I wouldn't have known about her. So like, she didn't have a lot of like exposure. Like, I didn't have a lot of exposure to her. I hope now she will be more like, she will be stronger, and she will like make her name known more, and I hope that she can be the next president of the United States in the future. Probably not for this one. Yeah, she dropped out this one, so not for this one, but hopefully in the future, in the near future. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life. In a multitude of people is a king's glory. Okay, so if you don't have a lot of people following you, you're gonna, even though you're a prince, you're gonna be ruined. Okay, so be slow to anger. Oh, yeah, a tranquil heart is life to a body. If you're content, if you're counting your blessings, that is life, and that is great. And when you're jealous, you just rot. Yeah. Wow. One who oppresses the poor taunts his maker, taunts God. Wow. Yeah. So this is the be good to your neighbor, even though they're poor. But one who is gracious honors God. So the wicked will be taken down due to what he did. Wisdom rests in the heart of one who has understanding. But among fools, their wisdom will be made known, like the little wisdom that they have, their heart will be made known. Righteousness exalts a nation, like similar to how America was great back then, when they're sending out missionaries and they are helping, and America became great because it was built on Christian foundations, on principles, on biblical values, on fearing and respecting God and being righteous. But now we're the number one exporter of porn. We are sinning like crazy, and it's not only disgrace to the people, it's a disgrace. The people make up a nation, and our nation is disgrace. And I don't think we're great anymore. Like, personally, I want to find another place to live. However, I know that America is already like the best place to live, and I don't know where to move to. So I was thinking maybe Singapore, because I don't want to live in a country that is the number one exporter of porn. But actually, it's not the country. It's more like California. It's more like the state. So maybe another state, but the other state doesn't have nice weather like California. So I'm really torn, and this internal conflict is just like in me, and it's like I want my children to have a good future, but is it in America? Like with all the problems that we have, should we stay here? Or am I looking at California and thinking that is America? Is there somewhere else maybe better? We can compromise a little bit on the weather, but it's not too bad, and we will have a better life there. I feel like South Carolina, I think that's where Nikki Haley came from, might be a good place, but I think it has tornado, or the weather is humid or something like that. But I have to research it more. I'm really fed up with, I mean, like, my husband was like Las Vegas, and Las Vegas is like, I don't want anywhere to be near Sin City. Like, I don't want to be Lot, who had a house in Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't want to be that person, and I don't want to be in California, the state, although I'm kind of far away from where that city where they produce those kind of stuff. And I like it here. My city, the city that we live in, is really nice, but still, like, the policies here, I just don't want to be in this, like, related to the state, I guess. So sin is abounding, and I feel the conflict. Hopefully we'll think about something like that later. So the king's favor, and I think this is also talking about God. His favor is toward a servant who acts wisely, even as human king, they do that too, and so much more is God, and his anger is toward him who acts shamefully. So may we not act shameful. And today, verse 26, I like this verse. This stood out a lot, especially with everything that's going on.